Hello and welcome to this video. As you might have seen during the winter, I built my own track. It was wet AstroTurf that then froze and snow came on top of it. It wasn't super long or anything, but I was still impressed how fun I thought it was to drive. I was really a bit surprised. So today I thought we can have an in-depth look how I made it and also a little bit about the driving lines and the layout itself. Let's get started. So here's an overview of the track that I dug out. It's just a snow-covered soccer field with AstroTurf. Now let's take a closer look at the process. Here's a diagram showing the situation with the temperatures. The ground was around zero because it had been like that for all day. And then in the evening it started snowing and also getting colder. So overnight it was going to be freezing and then stay cold for the next couple of days. So as I was digging through the snow, in the bottom I found something more like slush. The snow coming in contact with the ground was being heated by it and then melting a little bit. And as it was exposed to the cold air, it would instantly start freezing. So I ended up with a really nice road surface, not as slippery as a lake ice, but also no frozen footsteps, just solid and nice and quite wear resistant. Away from the ground, there wasn't enough heat to generate the slush, so the snowbanks would stay softer compared to the icy road surface. Still, they were on the firm side because the temperature of the snow when it was falling was close to zero. If it's super cold when it comes down, then it's going to become really light and fluffy snowbanks, and you're much more likely to get stuck in them. So all in all, I got a nice icy road surface and firm snowbanks to keep me on track. Now let's take a closer look at the layout. We can simplify it a bit by viewing it like a triangle, where the key corners are also the corners of the triangle itself. We can start with this one. We will approach it and we will be restricted by these 2 points in the snowbank. We want to use all of the road and go as straight as possible in the first part of this turn, getting close to the outside bank to enable a good line in the second part. We can be quite aggressive going into this turn a bit sideways, because somewhere in the middle we're still gonna have to reduce the speed to be able to make the last part where it tightens. If you overcook it though, the rear of the car will touch the snowbank and that's gonna turn you away from the corner and you will end up here. Moving on to the next key corner of the triangle, we have this opening hairpin followed by a long straight section. To further complicate things, this corner seems to be located at a low point where standing water can occur. So here was proper ice and a lot more slippery. Due to this, we want to make the corner as round as possible, carefully hugging the inside line to keep the speed up and avoid maneuvering too much on the slippery ice. Visiting the bank in this area would reduce the speed a lot, and given the low amount of grip, the recovery would be at a significant time loss. On the exit, we can accelerate quite hard and allow the car to move over to the left-hand side of the road, as this will allow us to see all the way to the next obstacle, which is a fast left-right combination. Final hairpin of the lap is approaching, and it does so at a good pace. The left-right combination before is not really that severe, so it's more or less flat out from the previous hairpin. We want to brake as late and hard as possible from somewhere in the middle of the road. This gives us more space to get the rear out in the beginning of the turn, and then we can make a late apex, meaning that we're not trying to make the corners symmetrical like the road is, but we're trying to do more turning in the beginning to allow for a straighter exit. We're accelerating hard, but trying to keep the car in the middle of the road or slightly to the right to prepare for the next turn. As always, hitting the outside bank with the rear will keep the car from rotating and you will be stuck along the bank for the rest of the turn. And in the same way, exiting wide and hitting the bank on the left will keep us from moving over to the right, and that's where we'll find the turning point for the next corner. So let's make a little summary of the complete lap. We start going straight through these kinks the shortest way possible. And then in the double right-hander, we want to focus on the latter part because that naturally leads to a rhythm change. We're going a little bit slower here in the S bends, just trying to hug the inside line and be as smooth as possible. And then in the icy hairpin, we also want to avoid crossing the slippery ice. But as the road opens, so do we, the throttle. When accelerating hard on the exit, we can allow the car to move over to the left-hand side because that will make it easier to see the line going down the straight. I say straight because the combination consists of two rather short turns with not that many degrees of deflection. So if we set the car up for turning nice and early, we can keep flat all the way to the final hairpin. And this is going to be the fastest point of the lap, so this is really important. We also have to consider the end of the lap already in this braking because we have the long left-hander that we want to enter from the right-hand side of the road. We want to make sure to do most of the turning in the beginning of the hairpin because then we can accelerate more in the exit without having the car move too much to the left-hand side. This is just a short straight, so we don't really have a lot of time to return the car to the right. So it's better if we can keep it in the middle or as far over to the right as possible, because then we can more easily prepare for the final left-hander. And that's it. That's basically all the lap completed. Now, of course, I don't always succeed in doing this, but at least this is my thought, what I want to try to achieve. So I hope you found the video interesting. If you have some other ideas, feel free to drop them in the comment section below. And yeah, thanks for watching.